Right now, at least one person being held hostage at a doctor's office in central Austin.
This has been going on for about 6 hours now at the Children's Medical Group just off Mopac and 35th Street. We have team coverage for you tonight.
Luis De Leon's been speaking with witnesses and neighbors tonight, but let's begin with KVU senior reporter Tony Polahetsky with what he's learned from police tonight. Tony?
And Brian and Quita, I want to tell you that for hours now, we have been listening to Austin police hostage negotiators trying to communicate with the hostage taker and trying to get him to leave the building where he has been for several hours this evening, as you mentioned, with at least one hostage. They are saying things like that they know that he has spent his life helping children and that they want that to be his legacy, not what has unfolded here tonight. Austin police officially have told us very little about what is happening. So most of what we have learned this evening has come from listening to their audio transmissions as they try to reach that hostage taker. Here is what we have learned so far this evening based on what we have been able to glean. That there is at least one hostage inside this building, a pediatrician, and again that the hostage taker appears to be a doctor himself. We did receive initial reports earlier this evening that as many as 5 people were being held, but authorities have not confirmed the exact number of hostages at this time. The hostage taker also apparently has been having trouble in his life for several years, with the hostage negotiators acknowledging that, but also saying that they know that he values human life and the life of the doctor with him inside the building. You can see there continues to be a very large police presence here, as well as a number of residents in this area who have come to watch and listen to what is happening. Obviously, the Austin Police SWAT team is here as well. And now we want to go over to my colleague, Luis De Leon. And Luis, I know that we've been hearing harrowing stories of people running from that building earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. First, I want to give you a lay of the land of where we are exactly. We're near the corner of 37th Street and Jackson Avenue. And this is really about as close as we can really get to the actual active scene itself from our perspective. Take a look behind me here. If we take a closer look, you can see really lines and layers of that yellow police tape. We have a large police presence up here as well. You can see people are gathered here. We are not sure if they know anyone that's involved right now. You can actually probably see other people on the other side of that yellow tape talking to one another, and this is a very common scene that we've seen throughout the night. People going to this section of yellow tape, giving each other a hug, and you can see some of that right there. People have been embracing and hugging, and again, we've also been seeing some people leaving this area as well. We did see personally at least 2 people being escorted away from the scene by police, but they were wrapped up in blankets. They seemed to be relatively calm at the moment there during that time. Now, this is all happening really within this central Austin neighborhood. Really next to us, row after row of family homes are in this area just blocks away from the active investigation and the active situation itself. And families, and some families that live in these homes here, are the ones that have been coming to the area that we're standing in now and have actually been watching this unfold from the safe distance where we are, of course. Now, as we mentioned earlier in the newscast, this has been happening inside of the Children's Medical Group building, and right next door to that is Smiles of Austin. And tonight I spoke to a woman on the phone named Allie. She did not want to share her last name. She says she's a lab technician at Smiles of Austin. She was in the building getting ready to wrap up the day with a few coworkers when this all started, and Allie says that they were able to let employees from next door stay inside the Smiles of Austin building while waiting for police. So just take a look, or take a listen rather, to some of what she had to say to describe that story there.
One of our hygienists came into the lab and said there was someone with a gun next door. So we had our windows open. You can kind of see into their lab or whatever. It was like, okay, so we shut the windows and made sure the door was locked back there. And then coming out of there, I was just like, I don't know what's happening right now. But I was looking out the door, just trying to see if I could see anything. And a whole group of the people from next door had gotten free. I guess they escaped out the back door, is what they said. And I just opened the door and I was like, come in here, come in here, come in here. So they came in and they were panicked, obviously crying, like so upset, and said that the 3 front desk girls had a gun like waved in their face and they were told to lock the doors.
And Allie went on to tell me that they had police on the phone at the time when they let those co-workers from next door, or let those workers from next door into the building. Police instructed them to get down on the ground and wait for them to arrive. When police did get there, they safely escaped the building. Once again, take a listen to some of that story there.
We've talked about active shooter like stuff with OSHA before, and you never think it's going to happen to you or near you, or like, you know, especially in a pediatric office. So like it's a real thing that can happen.
And again, according to police, this is still an active situation, an active investigation. We brought you that news conference from earlier tonight. They weren't able to say much else other than that this is still going on. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this situation as it continues to unfold. And we'll toss it back to you in the studio for now. We'll continue to update you as these updates come in.
All right, Luis De Leon, thank you very much for your reporting. We appreciate it. And our crews will stay out at this scene and keep an eye on things as they continue to develop.
And of course, we'll be sure to bring you any updates we get from the scene here on the news at 10. And you can always catch up on overnight developments on Daybreak beginning at 4:30 in the morning, and always on our website as well. That, of course, is kview.com.